What's up, y'all? This is Ike with the Mega Academy channel. I wanted to do a quick review of this guy J-Rad's attacks with dragons. I've noticed our Town Hall 8s don't really use dragons that much. Most of the time I'm having trouble going to these replays. Most of the time you'll see us Go Wipe, and Go Wipe is great, but Go Wipe was designed a 2-star. Not necessarily 3-star, not that it's impossible to 3-star with. You can definitely 3-star Town Hall 8s with Go Wipe. But for the most part, it is a 2-star type of attack, and I do think you can 3-star just about every Town Hall 8 with all drags, 4 to 8 balloons combined in the CC, as well as, in your army composition, and then either 3 lightning spells or, 3 rage or 2 rage, 1 heal. The wrong one. Well, actually, I wasn't going to show this one. I was going to show J-Rads, but if you look here, this is, basically what I mentioned. Those air defenses are maxed at Town Hall 8. And, 3 lightning spells will still knock out an air defense, no problem. I generally suggest you spread them out just a little bit, just because if you drop them all at the same time, they don't do the total damage per. But it worked out here. Now this attacker does a good job spreading the dragons in a line. And of course, a trick here is you have to make sure the air defenses and, those first line of defenses are already targeting the dragons so that the balloons fly in and don't get targeted. You want your balloons to, ideally, you want your balloons to be hitting an air defense before they even start getting targeted. And you can see here, I don't know who he is, Fabio, but you can see here, the balloons don't get targeted until they start going for these Teslas and the Wizard Tower. And if that's the case, you're almost always going to 3-star just because that means you've already knocked out all the air defenses and your dragons are all still alive. Yeah, for the most part, 2 air defenses just aren't enough to stop 4 to 8 balloons and then, 8 to 10 dragons. So this is J-Rad's attack. You can see the same thing. You lightning the hardest air defense to get to, and then you deploy your dragons as close to the other 2 air defenses you can. And you generally want to try and deploy the dragons from the outside going in. That way the bulk of your dragons will actually fly towards, the center, which is generally where the air defenses are. So you can see what J-Rad did was he deployed the bulk of the dragons to knock out this air defense to the right. Knowing that air defense was going to go out, he dropped a bunch of his balloons to go towards the other one. Where he dropped those balloons is perfect. They're like a tactical surgical strike, basically. They're going to go knock out the archer tower and then right to the air defense. You want those balloons to get to the air defense as quickly as possible. Because basically, once the air defenses are all gone, the dragons are basically uncontested. An archer tower, a wizard tower, a Tesla, those will all take forever to knock out a single dragon at Town Hall 8. And I actually like that he had a few balloons on reserve just to, drop them on the excess defenses there. And a really easy 3-star by J-Rad. Look at this next one. So with this one, I wanted to show one of lightning spell and one of with rage spells, just because it doesn't necessarily matter. Some bases will prefer lightning, some bases will prefer rage. This base, I actually agree with going with the rage spells, just because you can see those 2 air defenses are very centralized. And basically, when you see the air defenses are all kind of clustered in the center, or at least 2 of them anyway, you want to use rage spells. That way, your dragons can hurry up and get to it. Whereas with a lightning spell, if you had lightning spell to one of the ones on the inside, or maybe even this one at the bottom, it'd still take a lot of time for the dragons to get there, and you might fail the raid. But again, notice he places his dragons on the outside first and then goes to the center. That way the dragons will knock out the things on the outside, and you only have 2 dragons that are not going to fly outside, and you can see the bulk of the dragons are going to go over the center. He'll probably drop a raid spell right on this air defense, and he does. And then you see the balloons come in. Now notice his placement of balloons. He drops a cluster on the balloons on the right and a cluster on the left. These balloons are most likely going to, fly vertically towards the cannons, then the wizard towers, then these air defenses. You always want to make sure that where you drop the balloons, that they will eventually get to the air defenses, and you want to make sure that they get there as soon as possible. So you see he drops 2 raid spells at the same time. They slightly overlapped in the middle, but it's beautifully done. It rages the balloons on both sides. You see the balloons on both sides both went directly to those air defenses and knocked them out right away. And you see there's nothing left to contest those dragons. So at this point, it's definitely going to be a 3-star. So yeah, good job by J-Rad. I want to see if I can find a dragon attack that wasn't well done. Oh, this is actually a Town Hall 9 attacking a Town Hall 8. Okay. So, I mentioned earlier you want to drop your dragons on the outside, and then, so that the rest of your dragons will fly inside. What this guy did was he kind of attempted to do that, but not properly. I know that the way this base is designed is kind of weird, so the dragons aren't necessarily going to spread right.